welcome to your Sunday workout. We're in the afternoon, or if you're watching us on playback, depending on when you like to catch up with your exercise. We're of course 30-30 Essex, 30 minutes of exercise every day this month, and the theme is just get moving. Everything we do can be done at your own pace. You can even do it sat down. If there's any changes, then I will show you for anyone that wants to do it sat down. It's all low impact, taking the weight off of some of our joints as we get older, but that doesn't mean it's easy, but go at your own pace. Like always, we like to move, so just make sure you've got nothing you're going to bump into or trip over. Something nice and flat on your feet, preferably trainers, of course, no slippers please, and grab yourselves some water. It's very warm out there, so again, if you are finding that you're getting a little bit lightheaded, then just stop and wait until you feel ready to join back in. If we are doing the aerobic bit, just try and keep something moving. Let's get going. So we're just going to stretch to the side. Now remember, pop on your favourite music. It's always better to exercise to a little bit of music. They've got a great Spotify list here on Active Essex. So if you log in and subscribe to the channel, you can leave feedback, of course, but it does mean that you can check out their Spotify list and just have some music on in the background. It makes a huge difference. And then we're going to turn that into our sunrise. A little knee bend if you can, and take the time to just grab a breath. And then we're going to work that ankle joint. So we put our pound coin down and we're just putting our toe and our ankle, our toe and our heel onto that spot. Again, if you've been working out with me for the last few weeks, then you'll know most of these warm-up moves. Lovely. We want to keep the ankle joint as supple as we can. And then we're going to go back to the beginning, but a little bit faster. So we're just stretching out. Really give those wrists a wriggle as you do. And then we're going to go in to our sunrise with a very small knee bend if you can. Remember, you don't have to. And up. And then we've got what we call our foot flexor. So working that ankle joint. Use the arms. We're going just that little bit faster. Going on to that hot spot. Really making that ankle joint flex. Getting ourselves ready for exercise. And the other side. Lovely. Now imagine I've given you a great big Spanish cape. And we're just going to stretch. Now just be careful if you're sat down. You don't want to overstretch and fall off your chair. Bottoms out. Really stretch, rounding through those shoulders, just keeping it to where it's nice and comfortable for you. And then we've got those flamenco legs. We're all very Spanish again. Olé! And we're just popping the hands in the small of the back and bringing up that knee to where it's comfortable with you. And we've got our little cha-cha-cha. Start to find yourself getting a little bit warmer and just lifting that heart rate ever so slightly. And we're going to go through again from the top. So we start with our reach out to the side. So are we ready? And we just reach and pull, stretching everything out. Lovely. I find this goes very well with Chiquitita by ABBA. And then we're going to go into that sunrise with a small knee bend and just catch your breath. And then we're going to imagine that we've got those big Spanish capes. Are we ready? And stretch, rounding off those shoulders. You just stretch forward. Lovely. And then we're just going to put in a forward and back with the leg. Again, just starting to bring that heart rate up slightly. You can turn to the side if you want, or just keep it facing forward. Forward and back, forward and back. And then we'll go round to the other side. Again, just keeping it forward if you prefer. Just be careful of your balance. And forward and back, forward and back. Into those flamenco legs. Are we ready? Ole! Because there's no big balls running towards me. It's not that I'm expecting on a Sunday. Lovely. And give me that sunrise. And then we've got the forward and back with that leg. 2 more. 1, 2. Turn it to the side if you would like. And forward and back. Forward and back. And then round to the other side. And forward and back. Big Spanish capes. We're nearly there. And then we will just finish with our flamenco legs. Are we ready? Excellent. Now we're going to take 2 steps to the right and just hold it there. 1, 2, hold it there. And back. And if you remember, we have ourselves a move. So we're going to rock forward on the right and then take the weight back onto the left with a little cha-cha-cha. And then out to the side and the other side. And forward and cha-cha-cha. Keep those hands moving if you can. Just picking up that pace slightly so we're getting nice and warm. And then we're going 2 to the right. Hold it there. And back. Hold it there. And again. Now I like this one too, the Carpenters, Mr. Postman. And rock, rock, cha-cha-cha, and rock, cha-cha-cha, and side, cha-cha-cha. So good for our balance. Really shifting the weight backwards and forwards, what we call dynamic balance. Really helps should you take a stumble. Into that jogger's walk. And are we ready? We're going to go back to that side step. 2 to the right. Here we go. 1, 2. Keep it there. And back. Keep it there. And again. And back. Are we ready for our salsa? Gone Latin American now. Moving us all around the world this Sunday. And forward. And cha-cha-cha. And cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha. To the side. 1, 2. Leave it there. And back. Leave it there. Cha-cha. Cha. And cha-cha-cha. And cha-cha-cha. And cha-cha-cha. Lovely. Into our jogger's walk. Just lifting the feet up. Try not to stamp it down on the floor though. And then take a nice big deep breath. And you should be nice and warm. And then just march it out for me. Opposite arm to leg. Opposite arm to leg. That's it, lovely. Remember, anytime you can stop, grab yourself a glass of water. Just make sure that you just keep something moving, preferably those feet. So we're going to go with our single, single, double. So we're going to take it nice and wide. Single, single, and a double. A single, and if you give it a little bit of a welly, a little bit of a punch, then you're starting to work quite a lot harder. And single, single, and double. 2 more to the side. Last one, single, single, and we've got our half jack. Now remember, you can just do the legs. You can have the arms here, or you can do a full-on jack. It's up to you. But just a half jack with the bottom. That's it, lovely. And if you start getting tired, remember, then you just bring it down and just keep the legs moving. I'm going into that march. Opposite arm to leg. Lifting those those legs a little bit higher if you can. And then we're going back to our single, single, double. Are we ready? And single, single, double. Single, single. Oh, I think you've got it. I don't need to keep saying. By now I should be able to talk about everything from the weather to the easing of lockdown, what you're having for a Sunday roast. And now we've got our half jacks, so this is our last one. Are we ready? Up to you, how high you want to take those legs. Little bounce in your step if you've got some energy. And then we're going back to that march. Are we ready? And march. Opposite arm to leg. And again, if you're getting tired, you can just bring the feet down. The higher you lift those legs, obviously the harder you're working. Keep it going. And we're just going to go through that one more time. So are we ready? With our single, single, double. And single, single, and a double. You want to make it a little bit harder, you can bring that leg with it. And a single, and a single, and a double. And a single, and a single. But remember, you don't have to. Just making it a bit harder if you want to take the energy level up a little bit. We've got one more to the other side. Single, single. And then we've got our half jacks. Really getting into our aerobic part of the routine. We should be working at what we call moderate exercise. Slightly out of breath, but able to hold a conversation. In other words, you can still talk to me through the screen. And then we're all going to just march it out. Now keep that marching going. And then we're going to push the waves. We're going to take ourselves up onto our tiptoes. Just be careful of your balance. And if you want to have a chair or use the wall to steady you, that's absolutely fine. We're going to come up onto those tiptoes and push the bottom back. Up onto those tiptoes and push the bottom back. Just be careful that your knees don't go over your toes. And we just up onto those tiptoes and back. And then we're going to go right into our ski mode. So remember, we push the bottom and push up through those heels. Push back with the bottom, up through the heels, making sure that those knees don't come over our toes. And we're skiing. Here we go. Now imagine a nice cold wintry day, coming down the side of a mountain. Push. Last one. And then we're just going to march it out. Opposite arm to leg. And just taking those knees nice and high if we can. If like me, you'll be nice and warm by now. And then we've got our pushing the waves, bringing ourselves up onto our tiptoes. Remember, if you want to hold on or have the chair for support, that's fine. Up onto those tiptoes. And again, all of this you can still do if you're sat down. Just be careful of your balance as you're coming up onto your tiptoes. Really good exercise, stretching out those Achilles at the back of our ankles, keeping that ankle joint nice and flexible. Really helps with our walking, but also with our balance and helping us put on our shoes and socks in the morning. And then from here, we've got our full-on ski. So bottom all the way back, push up through those heels, nothing going through that knees. You can almost lift your toes off the floor when you're there, pushing all that weight backwards. A good old-fashioned squat. 2 more if we can. And march it out. Now we're going to take those legs nice and wide. And we're going to go side to side as if we've got a big paddle. Now, You can keep it here, or you can take it a little bit deeper if you've got good mobility, really working the waist. And then smaller if you prefer, and then digging deep. And then we're going to carry on with those shoulders and just turn it into a swim, as if we're doing front crawl. And then we're going to put in a little bit of back crawl. So take it backwards, over the head if you can. But if that's too difficult, keeping it chest height. Entirely up to you. And forwards, swim. And then last time, we're going to take it backwards. Lovely. And then we're going to go back to those great big paddles. So take those feet nice and wide and really use those arms, use those waists. If that becomes too difficult, remember, just keeping it there. And if you're sat down, you can do exactly the same. Just be very careful with your balance. We don't want you falling off that chair. Side to side, side to side. That's it, lovely. And then back to that swim. And we've got our front crawl. Always think of paddling out on a surfboard. Imagining a big wave. We've gone from the mountains and now we've got the big waves. I'm all over the world. And backstroke. And front crawl again. You don't have to do them all. So if you start getting tired, then just keep that jogger's walk going in the feet and then join back in when you're ready. And take it back. And then we're going to finish with our paddles. So nice and wide, really paddling either side. Keep those knees quite soft. Lovely. And everybody just take it a little bit smaller, more like a figure of 8 on its side. Still using those waists if you can. Get us back in our jeans after all this lockdown. And then we'll take that into our march. And just bring that level back down, starting to bring our heart rate back down. Nice deep breath. We're just going to start bringing down that heart rate a little bit more, but not too fast. So we're going to go forward on the right and back on the left. So we go forward on the right, back on the left. Forward on the right, back on the left. Have you got it? Forward on the right, back on the left. Then we're going to swap. So we come forward on the left, but back on the right. Coordination makes the brains work on a Sunday. And then we're going to go in a slide. Just be careful if you're sliding on the carpet that you don't fall over. And slide. And we're giving ourselves a little Beyonce wiggle. And slide. Lovely. And slide. One more. Slide. And then we're going to do the same thing. Forward on the right, back on the left. And left. Right. And left. Swap round, forward on the left, back on the right. How are you finding that? Really making you think. And then we're going to take our slide, slide, Beyonce, and slide, and slide. Giving me that little bit of wiggle, a bit of attitude on a Sunday. Love it. Now, we're just going to march it out because I want to do a clock. So we just got to think every 15 minutes. If you're sat down, when we get to the 6 o'clock, stop. You don't put the foot behind, you just give me a little tap. So for us, we're going to go forward, side, back and up. If you're sat down, you're just going to go forward, side, give me a tap and then an up. So are we ready? Use those arms if you can, but concentrate on the legs. So forward, side, back, up, the side, side, back, up. So 12, 3, 6, midnight, 12, 9, 6, midnight. Do you think you've got it? Really good one to practice. And I know you'll probably look a little bit strange if you're doing this in the kitchen and all the neighbours are watching. And side, back and up, forward, side, back, march it out. Well done. Definitely one for practising if you found that a bit challenging. And then we're going to go back to the forward on the right, back on the left. So are we ready? Forward on the right, back on the left. Forward and back. One more. And then we swap. And we come forward on the left and back on the right. Using those arms if we can, but not leaning over too much. Now we've got our slide and slide. Give me that Beyonce wiggle. And slide. And slide. One more. And slide. March it out. Again, try not to slam the feet. And then we've got our clock. So we go forward, side, back and up. Forward, side, back and up. I reckon you've got it now. Up to you how you use the arms. One more either side. And we'll all just march it out. Now I just want to take that into a toe tap. And use those wrists. So we've got that figure of 8. Keeping it around about chest height if you can. And then we're going to make it really small. And just the wrists. Keeping them nice and flexible. All that gardening work, all that weeding. Really good exercise to keep those fingers and joints mobile. Figure of 8. Then we're going to bring those legs in. And we're just doing a very small toe tap. And then back to those wrists. And hopefully that's brought that heart rate right back down. Breathing's almost returned to normal. And we're feeling like we could do it all over again. Okay, just lose the arms. Now we want to go up onto those tiptoes. And if you can, forward and backwards. Just being careful of anything around you. It's quite challenging to go backwards, so you don't have to. You can just keep it forwards. And of course turn around and then go the other way. But if you can, a bit more fun. And then we're dropping it back onto those heels, so we're penguin walking. And the same thing, it's quite challenging for a lot of people to do this backwards and forwards. And we're really starting to stretch out those Achilles and the calf muscles at the back of our leg. But it's really good for our balance. Walking like penguins, who'd have thought it? Forwards and backwards if you can. And then back onto those tiptoes. And then backwards onto those heels. Now again we're going to work on our balance. So if you're already a bit steady, use the chair, or if you have a wall, just try and do touch and release rather than hold on for dear life. We're just going to come up onto those tiptoes and see if we can just hold it there. And then take it down. And we're just going to, on one leg, you don't have to come up particularly high, and it's a good idea to practice this at the kitchen worktop while you're making a coffee or brushing your teeth. The higher you lift the leg, the more difficult it is. And if you're using a wall, then try and do touch and release, so you're strengthening that ankle joint. And again, really important for our walking and our balance. But also if you think about stepping up onto a bus, a curb, getting in and out of a car, really important exercise. And wobbling's good. We're just retraining the brain, which of our core muscles we need to engage to be able to balance. Really good workout for our core. And put it down. If you can always use a wall if you prefer. We're going to do a nice big diagonal stretch. So 2 hands if you're not holding on, just the 1 hand, obviously if you are, and just swap sides. And to the other side, stretching out, and then the other way. Lovely. And then just take a nice big deep breath. Nice big deep breath, and then we're just going to stretch everything off. So take that arm across, and then gently, if you want to use your hand, you can just give it a pull to make it a bit of a more deep stretch in that shoulder. Just stay away from the joint, and the same on the other side. And then we're just going to open the legs and soften those knees slightly. Nice deep breath in, where it's comfortable, and then from here if you can just drop the arm behind. If you find that really difficult, just lift the arm onto the shoulder, and then we're just going to stretch. And again, if you want to deepen that stretch, you can very gently push from the muscle, stay away from the joint, and down, and the same on that side. To stretch out, so pop the toe up, put it back towards you, just soften that other leg and use that to support you. Pulling those toe back means that you're getting the stretch in your calf, and then very carefully just lean forward. If you're sat down, keep the toe up. If you are actually standing, then pop the toe down, just use that supporting leg and feel that stretch in that hamstring at the back of the leg. Same on the other side. Soften that leg, pull those toes back, use that leg to support you, pulling it back, feel that stretch in your calf, up from the waist, and then gently lean over and feel that stretch down the back of the hamstring. Our yin and our yang. And if you want to remember any of these exercises, of course you can watch the video back, subscribe to the Active Essex YouTube channel. I'm also Sandra from Move It or Lose It, and I do Canvey Island and Benfleet, so you can always check out my page and get a few more of the exercises. And then we're just going to finish bringing those arms together. Picture something really lovely behind our curtains. And we are now easing the lockdown, so we're meeting our family and having a barbecue with grandkids in the garden. Or maybe we're going out for a walk with a dog. Or I'm from Canvey, so along the seawall. Well done. See you all soon. Bye.